Hello everybody, it's your boy N here. I'm coming at you guys with another YouTube video. Now I've had quite a lot of people ask me, my bunny doesn't really do very much in Axion, how can I fix this? This video will give you the best bunny build, the one that you're going to want to be using in order to nuke the crap out of Axion with bunny. So let's get right on into it. Starting off with the modules in this build. So for the red module, immediately we are going with electric condense. You need to nuke everything with bunny, and you are going to be using a condense build for this specifically, so electric condense is the red module. For the maneuvering module, mid-air maneuvering, because you want to be flying around with bunny, and you also want to be able to use your movement really well, and spamming mid-air maneuvering will allow you to basically use your ring and do a ton of damage with that. So we're going with this immediately right off the bat. Now for condense, you do want to go with damage, and you also want to go with cooldown. For damage, we are going to be going with crit. The reason we are going with crit is because nothing will deal more damage than crits anyways in this game, so you want to definitely build up your crits to do absolutely ridiculous levels of damage. So insight and front measures, skill insight, skill concentration for crit rate and damage, emergency measures and front lines for crit damage as well. We're going all 4 crit mods, so the versatility on this build is going to be very limited. However, the damage will be exactly what you need it to be. Okay, next up, I mentioned cooldown, so let's go with cooldown. So for cooldown, we're going with 4 modules for cooldown, because we want to be reaching cooldown cap. Now with this, MP conversion as well as nimble fingers is going to give you all the cooldown you need for a basic level. However, we are going to go crazy and we're going to go all in. Now, I'm going with focus on electric and focus on singular instead of fusion. Why singular? Because we want our third ability to do damage. We're now in a position where we're going to be running and flying around, and we need our 3 to do damage as well as our 4. So this is 100% what you are going to want to go with. Next up, we're going to need a little bit of range. So for range, we are going with skill expansion. We're not using amplification control as well. We are only using one range mod. I know you may see this as a downside, and it kind of is, but at the same time, I promise you, this is going to come back and it's going to be more worth it for when you do use your nuking. Now for our final module, we need to balance out our skill power, our skill cost, so we're going with maximize conservation. Do not worry about this negative skill power modifier, but we're going with maximize conservation to basically bring this all together and bring it all home. Now, trigger module. This is what you are all interested in. If you go over here, you'll see that there is a trigger module called Arcade Leak and Gap in Time that work with Bunnies 3, but Gap in Time also works with Bunnies 4. This basically, the way it works is whenever you hit a normal AoE attack, this will deal additional damage, extra 35% additional skill power damage or skill damage, and it's based on your cooldown. So if you take the cooldown away from this on this build, you will be left with what you have. Now you can see here my cooldown is 7.1, so this will be 7 taken away from 100, which will give us about 93% trigger rate. But don't worry, this cooldown is still gonna go way lower. Let's talk about the rest of the build. Starting off with the reactor. With the reactor, we are going to be going with a scout rifle mounting. The reason for that is we are using the blue beetle to force crits with this weapon, or with this setup. Now, I will come back to the weapon shortly, so don't worry about that, and I will give you the builds. So let's just power on for now. Next up, we've got electric and fusion on here for Bunny's first and fourth ability, and then we're going with cooldown crit damage. This is non-negotiable. Crit rate might be decent as well. Crit rate is a solid option, but you want crit damage as a 100%. Cooldown, absolutely need that. That one is also non-negotiable. You basically need cooldown / crit rate or damage. Can't change the stats. Singular might work instead of crit damage, but you want crits on this build because that's where majority of your power is going to be hiding. So you're basically going with that style of a setup. Now, for your external components, we're going with two pieces. We are going with 2 pieces of Hunter as well as 2 pieces of well, someone in my lobby just went down. We're going with 2 pieces of Hunter as well as 2 pieces of Ascending Armory. So we're going to pop the 2 pieces of Ascending Armory first up on our setup, and then we'll pop 2 pieces of Hunter just for the other ones. Now for the stats on here, you basically just want the standard stats. You just want max HP on here, recovery out of combat, max MP, recovery in combat, MP recovery modifier, and then max shield and toxic resistance. You can see over here I've got MP recovery in combat, modifier, and out of combat. You want max HP and across all of the cores, and you want defense across them all. I've got max shield on this. I have absolutely no idea why. Do I have a stance tracker swap that with? Ah, there you go, the better one. Perfect. So that's what you are going to want. This is going to balance out our skill cost on this build, and then this is also going to allow you to cool down faster, and this will make us reach the cooldown cap. Now let's talk about the arcade tuning tree. For Bunny, tuning tree is, well, very simple. For a crit build, there is only, well, one realistic answer that you can go with, and you are going to want to go with additional damage over here, all the way up from here, and then you are also going to want to go for additional damage, and then from here we've still got enough points to go down for, oh, okay, hang on a second, what did I do? Oh, sorry, we don't grab that, my bad, I'm silly. Alright, there you go. Now that's what you do. That's what you gotta do for your tree. So you get more crit rate, more crit damage, you get the range out of here, and also the power, and then you get the power out of here. So this is the tree that you're going to want to use with Bunny. This is going to allow you to basically get more range, more cost, less cost, more crit rate, more crit damage, and also more damage out of electric cohesion up over here. So that's your tree with Bunny. Onto the weapon setup. Now for the weapons, I would recommend having a little bit of a variety for your weapons. Now I know that may sound strange, but hear me out. Now for my second weapon, I will go with Greg, and for my third weapon, I will go with the Malevolent. With the Blue Beetle over here, I've got the 1 sprint core and 1 grapple core to make a stat stick, and then for the actual build on here, this is what I go for, a little bit of electric DPS. You aren't really 100% going to be using this weapon very much. It's more sort of a stat stick. If you prefer that setup, you can use this module config instead, but this is what I'm going to be going with for the sake of just using the weapon. Now with the Greg, you want to be using this for full fire, and you want to be using this for fire damage. The reason for that is these mobs in Axion, they gain resistances the more element you cast on them. So if you just keep yeeting and spamming electric abilities, this is going to become weaker. For the bosses, you want to be able to mix up your element and absolutely nuke the crap out of it. You can see that with my Greg, I've got it built for fire. For my Malevolent, I have it built for chill. For my actual element on my Malevolent cores, it's completely toxic. And then leading into the inversions, for the inversions, I'm going to put a focus on fire rounds. We're going to be hitting every element like it's the final masterpiece. It's going to be nuts. Other than that, we also want skill cost over here for the for Bunny's abilities, and then for the last one, pin suppression for additional HP, and that's your inversion sorted. So now that we've got the entire build and setup out of the way for Bunny, let's get on into some Bunny gameplay real quick. I will quickly run the mission over here, the first crater. Definitely not the fastest mission in the game, but I'll still run this one anyways. So let's go for this one. So let's hope that it doesn't spike out and nuke my PC like it did last time, and let's get into it. Starting off with this, you're going to want to make sure you spam your 1 to activate the buffs from the Blue Beetle. Now you can see immediately, you're just going to want to start condensing the crap out of everything. Your third ability will be doing bits of damage, but your condense is where all your damage is really going to be hiding. If you want to do proper levels of damage, you use your condense, or you use your first ability to one-shot odd mobs, so on and so forth. But this is essentially how you would use this setup. Over here you can see with the big flashlight, when I condense it, we do a decent chunk of damage, but it's essentially crit fishing, because the harder you crits go, the faster this thing will essentially die, which is what you want. There you go, you see that I did way more damage with that final condense, so on and so forth. But this is essentially how you play it. It is a crit fishing condense build, and crits in this setup do seem fairly consistent. As you can see here, the crazy amount of crits on this setup do lead to plenty of damage. Now you just basically want to lock in and go crazy and just jump around and nuke everything with your fourth ability. That's essentially the main gameplay loop with Bunny, and then you just want to pick up the MP drops on the ground and you're basically balling. I know it does feel like a little bit of a bummer that we might not be having absolute maxed out range, but in this instance, or with this specific setup, I've not struggled with having a little bit less range, and ideally you don't want to be having several different Descendants in your team roster anyways. As you can see, the Razor Claw over here, with this boss I basically just decide to ignore them for the entire mission until the end of the boss, where I can use the Malevolent to basically nuke the pair of them. So that's what I'm going to do with this over here. Now in general, I'm just going to run around, fly around and nuke everything. We're almost done with this phase. Hit this over here. I'm just going to completely ignore this dude. Oh wait, I've killed him. I didn't mean to do that. He must have got nuked by my condensers then. Sucks to suck, little bro. But yeah, there you go. You can see even with that, you can deal with the bosses fairly well. And this is a public Axion instance. I'm not playing in private. As you did see before, another player in my lobby did end up going down. So it's not like I'm in private where the resistances might be scaled, so on and so forth. This is all 100% public gameplay, because we fair with our testing out here. So yeah, okay, another flashlight up there. Let's just go nuke that real quick. Grab that. And as you can see here, 30 million on that, and we almost nuked all of it in one hit. We nuked half of it. 2 nukes and that thing's down. There you go. That's a pretty good example of, you know, what to do. And you just want to keep spamming your 1, your 3s and your 4s with Bunny. That's essentially the main gameplay loop. With this build, you just jump around, fly around, stuff like that. Even in tighter dungeons, you would definitely want to just keep spamming your condensers and jumping around as much as you can. Learning to grapple tech and learning grapple movement and so on and so forth would definitely help you in this endeavor. So I would say focus on that if you haven't already got that sort of stuff sorted. But yeah, that is essentially the main way you are going to be wanting to play Bunny. So this is basically it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it or tell you there's any like secret tech or anything, because there really isn't. You just 100% do not want to be eating into a non-crit build. They can be more consistent, and I am aware of that depending on situation, but in Axion, where basically all the rules go out of the window and you want to nuke everything as much as you can, you want to go crit. Crit is the big boy damage, and that's where the true power of Bunny is 100% at, in my opinion. With this over here, you'll see that by the time this mission ends, thank you for the follow, Shoro Cyrax. I appreciate that. Thank you, boss. You'll see over here that just in general, the power of Bunny is 100% hiding where the crit build is at. Even in here, let's just nuke this boss real quick. Grab that. Hello, buddy. You see that already? 2 nuke him. Unlucky. Crit fishing go hard. But yeah, you can see here, just 2 or 3 condensers and Bossman is indeed down for the count. Now this is where the second and third weapon come into play. So you can see over here, this dude is now electric resistance. My condensers will hit him still fairly hard, but if you want to actually nuke him faster and take care of him faster, this is where you pull out your other weapons. So in here, I'm going to start using the Malevolent, give it a sec, let him be angry, use the Malevolent on him. This is going to start hurting him a lot faster. Switch over, use the Greg on him. This will also start hurting him a lot faster. Then once he comes over here, make sure you're spamming your condensers as well, because you will still be doing that. Uh-oh, I'm gonna die. But hey ho. You can see over here just in general, you just want to be using your evasion, using your condensers still, because they still do damage, and you just want to jump around and nuke him with your weapons and with your abilities like such. Finish him off with that. Done, dusted. So yeah, easy, well, one of the best ways to play Bunny at the moment. Not the fastest run in general, but when you use this build, you're guaranteed a catalyst. This is a lie, by the way. 2.4 billion. I did test it with the non-crit. The non-crit hit about almost 1 billion damage less, or 600-700 million-ish damage less. So you definitely want to be using crit condensed Bunny for this setup. And yeah, I'll basically see you guys in the next one, because that's everything you need to know about Bunny in Axion. Stay blessed, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.